What is good, family? What is good, community? I hope you guys are all doing great. This beautiful Sunday, man. Great day today. Another day of life, you know what I'm saying? Great boxing last night, man. It was, pretty busy night of boxing yesterday. I hope you guys all saw the fights, you know what I mean? And it's an honor always, to be here, to chop it up with you guys, with the community. We are one, and I reiterate, I hope everyone's safe. I hope you guys are doing great today. Just another great day. You know what I'm saying? It's great to be able to chop it up with you guys, with the community, with the panel. Always an honor to have the panel here, constantly have them on the channel. You know what I'm saying? Reggie Owens. We're going to have Curtis Anderson in a moment. Lupe, what is up, bro? What is up? Thank you for jumping in, man. We're going to talk some boxing today, bro. Definitely, man. Lupe, thanks so much for jumping in, man. Thank you. Appreciate you. Love you, man. Salute from the South, man. Definitely. And we're going to chop up just a little bit as far as, as you can see in the thumbnail, I already posted it some days ago. We're going to talk a little bit about Jaron Ennis. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk a little bit about Erickson Lubin. The other day, shouts out to Blue Blood family. You know what I'm saying? When I was on his channel the other day in a panel, we were talking just a little bit about these points as far as with Erickson Lubin. Also, we're going to talk a little bit about more because we saw his performance last night. And we're going to talk a little bit about Efe Ajagba. You know what I'm saying? And as you can see in the thumbnail, also a little bit about Wilder, you know what I'm saying, and Tyson Fury trilogy. So we're going to break it down, man, with brother Curtis. Curtis Anderson's going to be here in a moment, okay, with the brother Curtis Anderson and with Reggie Owens. He's already in the building. G5, thanks so much. Y'all jumping in already. Thank you guys so much, man, for tuning in. So, Reggie Owens, how you doing, bro?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Can't complain on a Sunday.
Definitely, man. Definitely. You saw the fights last night?
Oh, hell yeah. I made sure I called the mugs.
Nice. Heck yeah, man. So let's get to it, man. Let's get right to it. G5, again, thank you so much. Lupe, thanks so much. Y'all feel free to share. Y'all feel free to go ahead and put them likes up. You know what I'm saying? Thanks so much for joining. And remember, comment away. Go ahead and comment. Go ahead and break out the comments, man. We're going to chit chat. We're going to collaborate, man. So, go back and forth on your ideas also. So definitely, man. So, all right, man, let's start. Let's get it in. Let's start with Jaron Ennis, man. Man, with all due respect, I don't know who that opponent was, but Jaron Ennis, first and foremost, man, I want to hear what Reggie Owens, what do you got to say about Jaron Ennis as far as his performance last night?
The kid shine, man. That's the biggest threat at that division right now, an up and comer. And I think Jaron can mix it up with anyone up there, man. I truly believe that. Just seeing his skills and style, the only thing he plays too much, and he has to. He at the level when he starts moving up, he's gonna have to cut that out. And I know he's in there with opposition. He can pull that against, but hopefully that doesn't become habit. But everything else, man, that kid can fight his ass off, man. I can't knock anything else. And that's something his father was telling him yesterday too. Stop playing around in there, get this guy up out of here. And that's exactly what he did. He went in there and stopped the guy who they said has never been stopped. And kid got power, speed, agility. The kid is complete, and he's knocking right at the door of all them top guys that are up there. You're gonna see some of them top guys avoid this kid because he's that big of a threat. He's a real true threat.
What is it exactly that what in particular? Because for me, when I was watching the fight, I was like, man, this guy, I'm just blown away each and every time I watch him fight, man. I'm blown away. There's a couple things I want to point out, but first and foremost, want to get your your comments on it, Reggie. But what I did as far as for now, what I want to say is that every time I see this guy, man, I'm just I love it. I enjoy every second of it. You know what I'm saying? I love his angles. I love his footwork. I mean, that guy, and like you said, it's true. He does play around a little bit too much. He has to be really cautious, especially when you're going up. When you plan on going up the ladder a little bit more in the welterweight division, man, welterweight division is no joke. Even if you're considering, fighting one of these, I guess you call it gatekeepers, right? Josecito Lopez, for example, that was in talks as far as, the boxing community. I've heard it said, I heard that name out there, so it'd be a great test against Jaron Ennis, Josecito Lopez, that guy can fight, man. So, I think Jaron Ennis, as far as that, what you're saying right now, that he does have to cut out the playing stuff. You know what I'm saying? I think he's just one way I see it is Jaron Ennis, he's having fun. that's what I like to see him do. As far not playing around, but it looks like he just has fun in the ring. I mean, he enjoys what he does, and it's great to see a fighter like that enjoy what they do in the ring. And he's just having fun boxing. He just enjoys what he does. He loves what he does. You know what I'm saying? And but I definitely think he should cut those things out as far as having the defense low, messing around with the gloves a little bit. He throws his arms around just a little bit. But yeah, when you go up the higher, when you go higher up the ladder in the welterweight division, that can really be a problem. That can really open up. That keeps him. I mean, his defense is low when he does that, and a more experienced, these seasoned welterweights up in the ladder, man, they can really capitalize on that. So, but what Reggie, is there something in particular that stood out to you in the fight last night and with Ennis' performance?
Yeah, his jab is quick. His jab is quick. He places punches well. He mixes up well. The only thing, like even with hearing his father, the other thing is like clean up when he's throwing punches. Is sometimes he's missing when he's going in with these power type hook punches, which should be starting off with a jab. He can leave himself open and falling into stuff. But it was in there against this opponent, but it's still something you need to clean up. But his I think that's his dad trained him, but he's on top of everything. And I've seen him during the the intermissions between rounds, him telling Jaron what he needs to clean up on and fix. But the jab is perfect. The jab is a ton of speed on his jab. He can mix the jab up, mixes the jab up well, and can throw them in succession pretty quick. The kid complete, man. I'm telling you, man, this kid is the next real deal, and he's gonna be a problem up here. But the clowning shit has to stop a little bit. I watched The Greatest Fighter. I watched The Greatest Fighter I've seen, and that coming out of the mixed martial arts world, getting knocked out from playing around against an opponent, that being Anderson Silva. So I mean, you can have fun in that ring, but you still got to take an opponent serious because one punch changes everything. But that's all I got. What's up, OG Kurt?
Yeah, you're Curtis. So what's going on, brother? How you doing, Kurt?
Hey, Reggie Owens, man. Rene Box Young, man. What's up? What's going on?
Oh, chilling.
Family. Heck yeah, we're good, man. And I just want to say, Curtis, I appreciate you guys coming on here. It's just fun. I was saying earlier when we just started that it's fun. I just have a blast every time I chat with you guys, with the comments, with the people who are jumping in, man. We got Black Star Sports TV. We got Meg Hisp. We got Jay Dixon in the building, man. Y'all jumping in. Hamza S. Saludos, hermano. What's going on, brother? What's going on, family? Kenneth Johnson. Salute, family. Kenneth Johnson. One love to you. Bruce Goes. Y'all jumping in up in here. Lawrence Williams. L-Dub. What's going on, bro? We're just talking about what y'all saw last night, what I'm saying, with the fights. And let's jump to Curtis. Curtis, same questions with Reggie Owens. What's your impression on Jaron Ennis' performance last night?
It was a good performance. Abreu is a tough, rugged veteran who's never been stopped. Jaron Ennis, the uppercut was vicious. Jaron knocked him out. But I'm still, we praise these guys, rightfully so, but I'm still hesitant because he has a lot of athletic ability, but to go to the next level and to beat the Crawfords and the Spence, you must have technical ability too. He has a lot of Roy Jones in him. And we saw what happened to Roy when he met a technical fighter in Antonio Tarver. So I wouldn't give him keys to the car just yet. He looks the part. He acts the part, but we still don't know. The jury's still out. Virgil Ortiz and all these young guys, it's going to be the moment of truth for a lot of fighters. You're going to separate the men from the boys. Jaron, I want to see him fight like a Jamal James type of guy, fight different styles. It's time to step up. I kind of knew he was going to get rid of Abreu. I saw that early on. Jaron has speed and, boxing pedigree and come from a boxing family. His father is on him. His father told him, you play too much, which he does. He needs to stop playing. Just get down to business. And I know he wants to have fun. Abreu, had multiple losses. So that was just, when you have a young fighter, you want him to fight an experienced fighter who can bring out the best of him or give him some rounds. A lot of people turn Ennis down for fights. It's hard for him to get fights, but Ennis, I'm still like not there, but I see the talent and it jumps out at me. But it's different when you fight a top level opponent. People saying Porter and Crawford. No, you're trying to ruin the kid. Let him gradually, walk up the ladder, and then put him in a ring with an established champion or a world class contender. He needs to tweak some things. He rolls with punches. He rolled with that right hand. He got hit, but he rolled with it and then came back, with the uppercut. Sort of like Charlo did to J-Rock. That's what it reminded me of. So, he looks good. He's young. He still has time to learn, to hone his skill. You don't want him to be a Kelsey Banks. Kelsey Banks was a 6-foot featherweight who people were saying this is the next Sugar Ray Robinson or a special fighter. And he went to the Pan Am Games and boom, one right hand, his career was over basically. He was never the same fighter. So let's wait and see, with Jaron Ennis.
That's true. Jamal James, if I'm not mistaken, that's his name. He fought Thomas Delorme, right? Is that who you're referring to, Curtis? Also.
Yeah, the tall, lanky guy. Yeah. Jamal James out of
Minnesota. That would be a great step up for Jaron Ennis. The thing here is that everyone has been clamoring, way before this fight, a Jaron Ennis versus a Virgil Ortiz matchup. But I personally think that Oscar De La Hoya is not going to let Virgil fight Ennis just yet. I don't think he will. You know what I'm saying? There's something I want to point out here as far as, Jaron, all around great stuff. I was thinking that name was up in my mind when Curtis was explaining, Roy Jones, exactly. Athleticism, man. Jaron's reflexes are amazing. Just a beautiful boxing, you know what I mean? And I think that, what was I going to say? I just had it in my mind, man. My fault. I just had it in my mind. Oh, yeah. I have seen some things that I want to get off my chest in Jaron Ennis as far as his fighting, how he boxes in the ring. He has had problems, okay? I don't know if you guys saw it, but I kind of think it was an issue for him. It was new to him. If you guys go back to the fight when he fought, I think it was, I got the box, what do you call it? Box rec here list, and I'm just checking out his record. And I remember watching I don't know how to pronounce this dude's name, man, but Bakhtiar Ayubov or something like that. When he fought him, Ayubov, this Ayubov guy was an inside fighter. He would charge at Ennis, and Ennis was getting touched up a lot, and with hard shots, man. Ayubov was just going in and fighting, man. He wanted to take Ennis out. And I saw that, when Ennis is pressured, this is the thing here. When Ennis is pressured, I think it was with Ayubov. I don't know if you guys can go back and watch that fight, but I don't know where that guy's from. But when Ennis is pressured, thrown against the ropes, you know what I mean, shoulder to shoulder, I've seen, he got touched up quite a bit, and I kind of got worried for a moment when I saw that fight. I was like, man, Ennis, you're going to get wobbled, bro. You're going to get wobbled with this guy. And it kind of reminded me of a Sean Porter. Obviously, every fight is different, yes. But, when it comes to putting pressure, when it comes to, bullying you, going up front, bam, bam, throwing against the ropes, shoulder to shoulder, bam, bam, on the inside, just throwing hooks, vicious hooks. A guy who pressures like Miguel Cotto, right? It looks like, sorry if you guys hear the dogs in the background, they're out there playing around. It looks like Ennis, he can get hit and he can get probably knocked down. But the good thing here is that we see that Ennis has a chin. He gets punched and he just keeps going. It looks like it doesn't really faze him. Another thing that I want to point out was with Ennis, with last night at least, with Juan Carlos Abreu. Did you guys notice that? Round 5, he got blow because he gave Ennis punched a controversial borderline low blow on your Abreu. Abreu got mad. You know, Abreu is one of those emotional guys that when he gets mad, you know what? Juan Carlos reminds me of, you know, when you're playing basketball with your friends at the park, and you know, you always have one of those friends that get really emotional when playing basketball, and he calls fouls over every little thing. You know, hey, that was a foul, and he gets kind of aggressive you know, on the court, and then he starts, you know, just kind of, you know, bullying people on the court, you know, getting angry. That kind of what Juan Carlos reminded me of. So when it was a controversial low blow, the ref kind of called it, but he's no, continue, go, go, go. You know, Juan Carlos gave a hard, intentional low blow on Jaron Ennis. You know, but the reason why I say this is because Ennis knocked him down. Remember? And then Juan Carlos said, "Hey, F you," you know, when the bell rang or whatever. I don't know, around the end of the round. You know, and then the ref went to the corner, went to Juan Carlos' corner, said, "Hey, you better calm your fighter down, calm him down." And what happened is that at round 6, if you guys saw it, you know, round 6, it looks like, you know, Ennis got quite emotional and he just wanted to bang. He went in there and boom, boom. And he kind of lost his balance because of the emotional aspect. It looks like Ennis got kind of carried away. I don't know, I wouldn't say he got sloppy, but it made him lose his balance because he just tried to go in there and just bang. That can be dangerous. You see, that can be dangerous because if you go, like Chris Anderson was saying a moment ago, when you go up the ladder with those skillful fighters, when it's time to bang, for example, Bud Crawford, right? That's just a quick example. Like, when it's time to bang, he'll bang. You know, Bud Crawford, people at that level, Manny Pacquiao, they'll bang, but they'll do it in a skillful manner where they don't lose balance. Where, you know, they're doing it in a channeled aggression. You know, it's channeled. And so did you guys notice that? Do you first we'll start with Reggie. Do you think that Ennis got a little bit too emotional in round 6 where he just wanted to bang and he lost his balance?
No, I think he was just toying around with this opponent. I don't think he really showed too much emotion. He's playing around with the guy, but I think around that round is when his father told him. The round before that is when his father told him to stop playing with this guy.
Ah, right.
Get him up out of here. And I think that's when he started going more towards trying to get him out. But the father also told him he needs to clean up. I believe after the fight, the father was talking about him going on the inside, throwing punches like that, and he was missing and leaving himself open. He was telling me he need to work more off the jab. And I like the fact that the father graded him like that, you know, graded him and told him what he should have cleaned up after the fight. And with the stoppage, I like the fact that the father doesn't sit there and praise him like that. He speaks on what he saw that the dude needs to clean up, and I thought that's perfect. But also like what Abreu did when Jaron hit him with the low blow and the ref let the fight go on. The one thing he did was intentionally hit Jaron back low again. Jaron never went for one of those low type punches again in the fight. So fighters can learn from shit like that.
Definitely. Curtis, I wanted to ask you something about Ennis. You know, I've been following Ennis for a while, and it seems like I don't know if it's me, but I'm not too acquainted with it. That's why I want to ask you, Curtis, that maybe Ennis and the way he trains. I've seen some footage on him training. This was a while ago. I don't know how long ago it was, but he, if I'm mistaken, he's from Philadelphia. He's in Philly, and you know, he has like an old school gym. You know what I mean? It's not like state of the art or nothing like that. And the way he trains, you know, he trains outside with the tires, and it looks like, is it me or Curtis? Is Ennis more of an old school type of training? Does he train the old school type of way?
Yeah, because of his father. You know, his father fought all his brothers. You know, that Philly style. You know, remember, Philadelphia has produced 44 world champions. That's a city, not a state. You know, that's incredible. And you had at least 500 fighters came out of Philadelphia. Great fighters. You know,
Wow.
so he has that aura, that ambiance of Philadelphia. If you ever went to Philadelphia, you can feel it. You know, it's a boxing city, to say the least. You know, Joe Frazier, Bernard Hopkins, on and on. Joe and Jeff Chandler, Matthew Saad Muhammad, and Philadelphia Jack O'Brien was a great back in the day. I mean, I can go on and on all day about Philly. Yeah, being there at the Spectrum and the Blue Horizon, you can feel the history. You can feel the gems. It's crazy. It's weird, but you know, Philadelphia always been the cornerstone of American boxing. along with Detroit and certain parts of Ohio. He trains in that mold. It's an old gym. His father trains him in the old school kind of way with the tires and, climbing up the building with the rope. He stays in the gym. He's a gym rat. I mean, he has everything going for him, but it's not that easy in boxing. He has to have intangibles, and you have to judge his talents when he fights top level competition. Now he's still learning. I like the fact that he has a lot of fights and he's young. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Let him build up his experience by fighting the upper echelon welterweights in that division, and you're going to see what you got. It's going to tell the truth how good this kid really is. Some people put the label special. I'm not going that far because I thought Kelsey Banks or Alex Ramos or Francisco Bajado would have been special, but they didn't turn out like that. So you have to wait and see when he fights these guys, different style of fighters, to see if he's going to live up to expectations.
Definitely, man. And that's what I was thinking. That as far as with the training, also you're saying that, he looks like he has that old school type of training. You know what I mean? And he just seems like that guy lives in the gym, man. Definitely, he lives in that gym, man. He's just always training, always in shape. We'll see what's next for this guy, man. I mean, definitely, I'm really optimistic about him. I really hope that I wish not but the best. But like I said, man, when I watch him fight, I enjoy every second watching him, man. It's just fun watching him. Let's get to the chat real quick, man. Y'all showing up in here, man. I thank you. Christina G, thank you so much, girl. Thank you so much for jumping in, Christina G. Much love to you, girl. It says right here, Jay Dixon, salute, bro. He says, he's really been in all showcase fights, in my opinion. I need to see more substance from him, but he's good, though. Yeah, it's just like what Curtis is saying, pretty much. I mean, more substance. I got you, bro. Hamza says, Boots didn't hit him low, unless I'm mistaken. Yeah, I know. Well, the ref he said to keep on going, and it looked like excuse me, it looked like Abreu. Sorry if I don't pronounce that name right. Abreu. Like he was kind of looking at the ref constantly. He was looking at the ref constantly. Kind of getting emotional there. Trying to get Boots on any call he could, But yeah, it looked like it was like a borderline belt line shot, definitely. Lawrence Williams said Zahir Rahim, referring to what Curtis was saying, and Lawrence Williams says, I'm surprised Boots has all them fights given his promotional. Interesting point you got there, because we're going to talk about that a little bit later with another fighter. But as far as that, Reggie, do you think that Boots is being promoted as he should? It's kind of hard to say.
I think his name should be out there a little bit more than what it is. I don't think it is, but that's the other side of thing, man. A lot of people don't get promoted well at all. I think self-promotion is probably the best way to promote. So he has to do more. He has to do more of the job on his own, because I think that's what it's turned down to, because promoters don't promote. Networks don't promote. It's up to the fighters to kind of get their names out, self-promote, start making themselves available across platforms is the only way to get your name out. But to sit back and rely on, that's why it's, betting on yourself is the importance for a career right now, because no one else is going to fund promoting you. Nobody does it anymore. I think when the promoter was promoting people, I think that left off with Don King, who probably had the more famous fighters as a promoter, and he was very vocal and spoke on them. But nowadays, you got to do it on your own. And I think Floyd Mayweather put out a blueprint on that. So Jaron needs to, but you ain't got to do all the antics like a Floyd. But I think Jaron has to do a better job of making himself available, start speaking across platforms, and that's just the way to do it. You got to promote yourself now in these individualized sports, because these what are labeled as promoters just really aren't promoters. They're sitting here for the money. But that's all I got on that.
Yeah, definitely, man. And right now, Hamza saying, how y'all feel about Virgil Ortiz versus Boots? I mean, the thing here is that, I don't know what you think, Curtis. We'll jump to you, Curtis. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants it. And as we know, promoters don't necessarily give the fights that fans want all the time, most of the time, at least I would say. Virgil versus Ennis, man. I got Ennis over Virgil, but then again, or Virgil's good, man. I mean, he's a really good fighter. So I mean, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I would project a Jaron Ennis versus a Virgil Ortiz around 2022, man. Call me crazy, but it's kind of along the same lines of what I'm saying with the, and it looks like it's coming to realization more and more. As far as Spence versus Bud, I think Spence versus Bud will happen at least 2022. If not 2023, and then Bud will retire. I mean, that's just my projected honesty on that, But it's kind of same concept I have with Ennis versus Virgil Ortiz. I personally think that Oscar doesn't want Virgil Ortiz to fight Ennis. What do you think about that, Curtis? Do you think they'll fight anytime soon? And how do you see the outcome of them two fighting?
No, they're not going to fight. They don't make fights like that no more. When you have two young lions, they don't want to risk their or not saying. They scared of each other. That's not the case, but the promoters doesn't want to risk it. They're not established enough, and Ortiz and Ennis needs to be more established. I could see them fighting down the road because the welterweight division is going to look different in another 2 or 3 years. Crawford retiring, Spence moving up. I'm not confident Spence and Crawford's going to fight. I hope I'm wrong. Ortiz is strong. He's a strong puncher. He's very aggressive. That's the culture he comes from. Ennis is slick, great footwork. I could see Ennis winning just by outboxing Ortiz or catching him with something. And I could see Ortiz winning because Ennis is let Ortiz get too close, fighting inside, and he catching Ennis because Ortiz can't punch his natural power. Ennis has more dimensions to his game. I normally lean towards that type of fighter, a multi-dimensional boxer, with athletic skills and great footwork. That's the big difference between Ennis and Ortiz. When Ennis steps up, he can win a lot of his fights easy by outboxing guys. Those knockouts will not come. A lot of them, he's not going to be knocking guys out. He's going to be outboxing them. Now, he'll get some knockouts because some guys will be reckless, but his best bet when he if he fights the Spence and the Crawfords and the Porters, he has to box these guys. It's different styles depending on who you fight in the ring. He can get away with it now because he's fighting lower tier competition, but once he steps up, he got to mix up his attack. He got to box, he got to punch, fight to your strength. So that's the big difference. But if they fight now, I would say Ennis because of his footwork. But both of them still has a way to go. They still have flaws, but both of them still have flaws, though.
Yeah. So I don't think they'll be fighting until way down the road. Lawrence Williams, let me get to Lawrence real quick. What he's saying here. Tone Brown, I don't think I shout you out. Thanks so much, bro. Tone Brown, for tuning in, man. Much love to you. Thanks so much for being here, fam. We are family, bro. Lawrence Williams says, Bud retired. First I heard of that. Yeah, I'm the first who's saying it, man. I'm saying it. I'm putting it out there. Me too, competitive. Oh yeah, no, I didn't say he was gonna retire right now. But the thing is, I project. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, right? I'm not God. I'm not the one who, you know what I'm saying? But this is just the way I see it. The way we have seen the rhythm of, fights being put out there, people milking fights, blah, 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 right? I think that Spence, let me just repeat it. I think that Spence, I just recently started putting this out too on my channel. And I think that Spence and Bud will fight at least until 2022 or 2023. And then I see Bud retiring after that. I think he's just going to go for the big bag, mega fight, pay-per-view, whatever. By that time, fighters milk. I mean, these promoters want to milk these fights, man, these big mega fights, and they don't want to do it right now. You know what I'm saying? Just like what Curtis Anderson was explaining right now, and much less prospects. So, you know what I mean? So I think that, let me just repeat it. I think that at least around 2022 or 2023, Bud and Spence will go down, hopefully. And I think Bud's just going to retire after that. If not, he'll take maybe 1 or 2 tune-up fights, and he's gone. He's gone. I mean, this is what I see. That's just what I think, but who knows? I could be wrong, right? D Hodges, thanks so much for jumping on here. D Hodges, much love. Thanks so much. We are family, fam. So okay. So we spoke about Ennis. You know what I'm saying? I want to go to next. Okay, Erickson Lubin. Like I mentioned a moment ago, Kurt, me and Kurt were on Blue Blood. Shouts out to Blue Blood family, man. Love you so much, man. Thank you, Blue Blood, for inviting us. And me and on the panel the other day. And he talked about, he mentioned, when we're talking about Lubin, Erickson Lubin. This was obviously before he fought yesterday. First and foremost, what's your reaction, bro, Reggie Owens, on Lubin's performance, man?
They fought safe. They fought safe and patient. That's for that eliminator. So he didn't want to take too much of a risk and blow it. But then again, Goucher didn't give him too much to work with either. I think Lubin could have turned it on, being that Goucher didn't give anything. I like the way that Lubin took away Goucher's jab by batting it down before he can even think to do anything with it. I thought that was one positive that I seen in the fight, the way he eliminated that jab from Goucher. He worked effectively when he did throw punches, throwing his jab. He'll come over the top of that lead arm. He'll go up under it. He got that left hand in there, pretty solid to the body, but it just wasn't enough volume. You throw one punch at a time. And they both just stood there in front of each other, playing it safe and showing too much respect. But what's his name? Cunningham told Lubin something. Don't let this guy lure you to sleep. Like, wanted him to turn up the volume. And I think that's something Lubin needs to keep in mind. Don't get lured to sleep playing these safe type fights, because you can make a mistake, lose focus, fall asleep, and get caught like he did. The only thing, Goucher just didn't have the killer instinct to go after Lubin, and he allowed Lubin to taunt him. Like, Lubin was taunting him. I think he sticked his tongue at him or something, was and laughing and talking crap, and Goucher didn't capitalize on it at all. He walked over there patiently. Don't even think he got any punches off. I think Lubin tied him up, so he really couldn't do anything at that moment. And then even when Lubin had him hurt pretty bad in that final round, and he didn't capitalize on that. He took it, approached him slow, but then again, it's towards the end of the fight. Maybe he didn't want to get caught with anything. Who knows? But he should have pressed the gas and tried to get that guy up out of there. But either way, it's a win. He puts himself in a position to possibly facing the guy who brought a devastating defeat to his record.
Yeah. I personally think the undercard was more exciting. You know what I mean? The undercard fights were more exciting than what Lubin and Terrell, right, brought last night. I mean, they were very cautious, definitely. What do you think, Curtis? What's your reaction with Lubin's performance last night?
Well, before we get to that, and this is off topic, man, this is why I can never be an Atlanta Falcons fan. Have a big lead against the Cowboys, and they lost 40-39. Atlanta Falcons, they've been choking for 50 years. The Super Bowl against New England, they've been choking for 50 years. They let the Cowboys come back and kick a last-second field goal. But anyway, I hate the Cowboys, by the way. But anyway, I hate them. I'm a diehard Steelers fan. But anyway, I didn't like how Lubin looked, man. It was a very flat performance. He was hurt. I think Lubin is very chinny. He doesn't react well when he gets hit clean. He looks thin for 154. Maybe, he's not going to go back down, but I wasn't impressed. It was a very boring fight. I was falling asleep on it. Goucher is the type of fighter that he boxes. He doesn't have a lot of power, but he was able to hurt Lubin. Lubin hurt him later in the fight. But I don't know. I think Lubin should stay away from punchers. I think if he fights the winner of Rosario and Charlo, that he's going to be in trouble because he doesn't react well when he's hit. I've seen him get bucked at least 4 times in his career when he's hit clean, maybe even more than that. It depends who he's fighting. He was, of course, knocked out by Charlo. He was hurt last night. He was really hurt last night, but Goucher didn't follow up properly. So I don't know about Lubin, man. He has mental lapses on defense, just like J-Rock. So I'm not crazy about Lubin. Even if Charlo went, I don't think that's a good fight for Lubin. So, we'll see what happens. But I wasn't impressed at all with Erickson Lubin. It's very flat, very.
Definitely. I definitely agree, man. I was getting kind of frustrated when I was watching the fight. I was around, when I started watching round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in round 7, I was like, I gotta go take a shower, man. I gotta go. I think I'm done watching this fight. But then I stuck in there because in round 8, if I'm not mistaken, round 8, Lubin started really throwing in some combos, started throwing some aggression there. He should have done that from the beginning rounds, man. He should have just done there, You know, he should have just put the pressure on Terrell, you know what I mean, and just took him out, man. I mean, if you really want to prove a point, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he's up there. He's up there in the WBC rankings. I mean, you know, in the rankings. So, like, you got to prove a point, bro. Come in, show it, you know, show up, show out. But then again, I think personally, at least, you know, Lubin has that in the back of his head that he doesn't have the best chin. You know, what happened to him, you know, a knockout can really affect the fighter, you know, in their career. You know, it can really psychologically affect them. And they probably, I'm not saying he's not the same anymore, no, but I think he has that in the back of his head, man, that he doesn't want to get hit clean. Like, you know, Curtis has said, you know, he was buckled, you know, about 4 times in his career so far, and by clean shots. And I'm sure he knows that. Lubin knows that. He doesn't want it to happen again. You know what I'm saying? And right here, real quick, Hamza saying, how y'all feel about Lubin? It's exactly what Hamza's saying right now, too. So his chin is suspect. I see him getting stopped by either or Jamel. This is exactly what Curtis was saying a moment ago, too. And I remember Hamza, while Curtis was speaking, I think Hamza already posted this comment before that. So definitely, man, we're all on the same page with this. You know, I'm not excited. It's like what Curtis was saying a moment ago, that I'm not really, I'm not excited right now with Lubin, man. I mean, all due respect, I mean, he's a good fighter. You know, I like him, but climbing up again to fight a Mel Charlo. I mean, we already explained this too on Blue Blood, man. That I think Curtis was there also. Curtis, we're both there, and Everything Boxing, salute to Everything Boxing. We're talking about it, and I don't. Even though Lubin may be #1 mandatory, what have you, right, in the WBC rankings or whatever rankings, right, whatever sanctioning bodies, whatever they want to call the whatever. I'm not excited about it because. Just look at the fashion that Jermell Charlo knocked out Lubin. He took him out. I mean, and look how cautious he was with Terrell. You think he's gonna really, you know, show up and show out if he rematches Mel Charlo? No, I think he's gonna be real cautious, you know, because he knows what happened in the first fight. He knows what Mel did to him. I mean, you think he's gonna really go, you know, just go in there and you know, disrespect Charlo in the ring like that? No way. So I'm not really excited at all about, you know, Lubin. I mean, what do you think's next, Reggie? What would you like to see with Lubin next, like with opponent wise?
I want to see him fight Charlo again. I'm not going to cut him short.
Why is that? Yeah.
I want to see if that's what he's pursuing. I want to see how he goes back in there and fight Charlo, just to see if it was just a lucky punch he got caught with, and see if he goes in there and he boxes much better against Charlo, rather than making a mistake of trying to go on the inside and exchanging with him. If he does, he just got to make sure he stays sharp and clean on the inside. I mean, there's ways to fight Charlo on the inside. I mean, he got clipped with a clean ass punch. It was a mistake, but if that's his goal and his pursuit of continuing on and trying to capture these victories that he's been on, I think he's on a 5-fight winning streak. Go back in there. Only thing you can do is win, lose, or get knocked out. And I want to see what he can give. I don't want to discount him or cut him short because he has been winning. So it's time to see if he can get that Charlo fight. So I think he should definitely pursue that. And why would he go backwards? He's winning. He's beating the guys that they've been placing in front of him. Anything below where he's at will be just almost doing what Anthony Yarde has done in his career, and that's fighting guys that you just finding, just pulling out the woodworks off the streets and stuff like that. So a championship shot is his next best bet.
Hey, good points, man. Definitely good points, man. I ain't against it at all. That's true, man. I mean, I agree. I mean, and at the same time, I would like to see Lubin, though, you know, based off of last night's performance. I wasn't really, you know, surprised. I was like, come on, Lubin. I know he has more in him. I know he can do more. He can definitely do more. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see, right? We'll see what happens after Mel Charlo and Rosario. I mean, that's the focus right there. So we got to see what happens there first. We got to hear Kenneth Johnson saying, do y'all think Lubin is ready for fighters like Hurd, Harrison, and J-Rock? Ooh. Now, real quick, good one right there. It seems like Jarrett Hurd kind of has been forgotten. It seems like it, right? Because a lot of box community, it seems like they're not really talking about Jarrett Hurd. All right, I mean, like I always say, there's a lot of platforms, or a wealth of platforms out there when it comes to boxing. But it seems like I haven't really heard Jarrett Hurd's name out there. I mean, he seems like he's been low key. That's why, you know what I'm saying? Ever since, you know, he lost, you know, to J-Rock, No, I'm sorry. Who did Jarrett Hurd lose against? I'm sorry. Who did he lose against?
J-Rock, you're right.
Yeah, all right, thank you. Yeah, J-Rock. Okay, so J-Rock beat him. Looks like ever since then, Jarrett Hurd's been very low key. Jarrett Hurd fought some other guy. I don't even know who that guy's name is, with all due respect. Now, if you guys remember, Jarrett Hurd, you guys remember this? His last fight, if I remember correctly, he was trying to change up his style. Now, this is something I've said I've been saying it a while ago. I've said it before constantly about Jarrett Hurd's style. And I'm saying this all because, I'm imagining right now a possible matchup with Lubin. Jarrett Hurd, after he got, after the next opponent, after he fought, lost to J-Rock, he fought some guy. But with that fight, his style was way different. He wouldn't just, be hunched over and just walking towards the opponent where it would be open for uppercuts, how J-Rock knocked him out, took him out, beat him. But, he changed it up. Footwork, upper body movement, moving, he was just looked like a totally different fighter, man. Looked like a different fighter, working on his skills, a lot of footwork in there. And I liked it. A lot of people weren't really happy about it. The crowd wasn't really happy about it. I don't think, if I recall correctly, the crowd was kind of like, because they wanted to see knockouts, you know what I'm saying? So that's a lot what the crowd wants to see. But I don't know if you guys remember seeing that fight, but I did see a changeup in Jarrett Hurd's game. Okay, that's what I liked. I really liked his changeup. So what do you think, Curtis? We'll jump to Curtis first on this one. Do you think that Lubin would do good against the Hurd?
If I was Hurd, I will fight the old way. I mean, I know the guy, I forgot his name, but it didn't look good. That's not who he is. So he should go back and fight the way that got him to where when he became unified champion, being aggressive, especially against Lubin. If I was to fight Lubin, I'll be very aggressive because I don't think Lubin takes a good shot or shots in general. I just don't think so. So if he, Hurd should fly in the radar, I think that's a good thing. People forgot about him. If I was him, I'll take advantage of that, by flying under the radar, because that division, is swimming with a pool of sharks. So I don't know what's on Hurd's and his plans, but Lubin is he's looking at the winner of Charlo Rosario, because he'd be the mandatory. But Hurd, I will go right at Lubin, try and wear him down because he's big. I would use my size, my power. If he hits Lubin enough, he's going to hurt him. And Lubin is a good boxer, but he's not a great boxer. His defense is okay, but it's not great. So I think Hurd can get to him by just being aggressive. If I was Lubin, I would stay away from punchers. It's tough. Because Tony Harrison is a good boxer. He can outbox Lubin. And he has a good right hand. So it's that division is tough for Lubin, man. People was ready to give him the keys to the car, but after last night, you're only as good as your last fight. I don't know. It's going to be tough for him, man. If he fights Charlo or Rosario or Harrison or Hurd or Lara, he can get outboxed. Or if he gets hit clean, he can go because he doesn't take a shot well. So it's going to be tough for certain fighters in that division. It's a pool of sharks.
I definitely agree. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I said earlier that I don't know about Lubin just yet, man, because, these names, Kenneth Johnson just brought these names out too, Harrison, J-Rock, Hurd, Rosario, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I don't know, man, because I was thinking that earlier too. I mean, we all connect with our thoughts. I was thinking that, a Lubin versus a Harrison, I was like, I don't know, man. Harrison, I think, would box circles around Lubin. That's just my personal opinion. But then again, Harrison has a chin too, right? Because, not the best chin maybe, but then again, he fought Charlo. So, Charlo got power. What do you think, Reggie? You think he can you think he would fare well against the Hurd, against the Harrison, J-Rock?
My answer the same as Kurt. Man, I go exactly what Kurt said about him. But Hurd will definitely have to go back to that old style, that old boxing style he attempted to use was trash. It didn't work. He ended up taking a guy 12 rounds in a fight, or 10 rounds, how many ever rounds they end up going, but it went to a decision. With his old style, he would have got that guy up out of there, but he didn't look right trying to box with the dude. So if he did face Lubin, he'll have to definitely go back to that old style. But I don't know. I don't know what to even think of Hurd. He's not active at all. I think he hasn't fought since January. I think that can end up affecting him, and especially when they're changing things around for the guy. But I definitely agree with what Kurt said.
Right on, man. I actually liked what Hurd was doing, man. I mean, I liked what he did, using the footwork, but I understand definitely your points of views, man. But we'll see what's next for Hurd, man. We'll see what he'll bring into the ring in his next fight. I don't even know if he's gonna fight. Is there a fight announcement with Hurd? Anybody know?
Nope.
I haven't heard anything. Excuse the pun, but I haven't heard anything about him fighting. So I don't know. He's like you said, he's the forgotten man. It's weird how you could be a unified champion, you lose a fight, and everybody forgets you. But it may be a blessing in disguise. I will be working hard. I won't even want my name mentioned. I'll just sneak up on everybody. But like I said, he could fight J-Rock in a rematch. He can. That division, man, it's like gumbo. And in which way, it's going to be a good fight regardless. Hurd and Harrison, they could fight again. So I'm just going to sit back and see.
And you know the other thing that turned people away from Hurd is when he lost his title, he avoided going back after that. He ran away from trying to recapture those titles. And the other thing that made him a sucker is when he kind of played in this prima donna type thing when he should have been facing Charlo for unification.
Yeah, you're definitely right. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. When he had the opportunity to fight Charlo and he kind of didn't fight him, and exactly, man. I think a lot of that also, was lingering around Hurd around that time, and then people saw what it was when he got knocked, when he lost, and it is what it is, definitely, man. And I think that's one of the main reasons too why these things, just piled up on him, and a lot of people just forgot him. Unfortunately, I think Hurd, still has great potential, man. He has the skills and all that. So I mean, I hope he comes back. I really do. I do, and I think that's exactly what's going on. I think Curtis Anderson, like what Curtis was alluding to, that I think that Hurd is staying purposely silent so he can make a great comeback. We'll see, man. We'll see what happens. Now, this is something Tony Brown I was saying. I want to hear your opinions, you guys, before I say mine. I mean, Tony Brown, and this can be for anybody. I mean, not just for Lubin, not just for, Hurd or any fighter right now. Any fighter out there right now in this whole pandemic and all this crazy stuff, fighters coming back. Tony Brown says, I think it was ring rust and both coming off a layoff. Do you think, we'll start with Curtis. Curtis, do you think that, I think Tone Brown, because, the chat is extensive, man. Y'all coming in. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I think Tone Brown was referring to Lubin and how he performed last night. Do you think that was ring rust, Kurt? And do you think that that's a valid reason to why fighters are coming back the way they're fighting, maybe not giving the best performance in the ring right now these days?
Well, it could be. But then again, the flip side is that I've seen a lot of fighters take a long time, a year off, a year and a half, 2 years or whatever, and they, look like they haven't lost a beat. But I can see what he's saying. That can have something to do with it. But I don't like to use excuses, because sometimes when a fighter have off, their bodies heal and they just need rest. So it's 50-50. But if the fighters say, well, I was rusty, then they're going to get the benefit of the doubt. They may use it as an excuse. So, but I can see that as a possibility. I was just surprised how flat he looked, even with the layoff. I was just, because he didn't do anything. It's like they were just going through the emotions. And I was like, I fell asleep, my couch. It was a very boring fight. Wasn't exciting at all. It was like watching Winky Wright fight Bernard Hopkins. It just wasn't good at all. And I knew Lubin was going to beat Goucher, but I thought he would be better, and he wasn't.
Yeah, for me, it was kind of an upset, man, where, I thought Lubin was going to do more. That's kind of what, my whole general reaction is with Lubin. And that's why I wanted to talk about this precisely, because I wasn't just impressed, man. I mean, I thought he was going to show more. I definitely did thought he was going to show more, and just show up and show out in the ring, man. Be more aggressive. Do what he did. I thought he was going to do what he did in round 8, but in most rounds. But I mean, it definitely wasn't that. You know what I'm saying? Let me get to the chat real quick, okay? Lubin is not ready to be champion. I agree, man. I just agree, man. Hamza S continues to say Lubin's chin was suspect before Charlo dropped him. An unknown Latin dude dropped him years prior. Wow, I didn't know that, man. I didn't know that. So. Reggie, just before we continue here, Reggie, what do you think about that? The whole ring rust. Do you think that fighters right now that are coming back with this whole pandemic, blah, 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 you think, they're not performing the way they should perform, I guess we can say, because of ring rust?
No, I think some people use it as an excuse. I remember, what was the UFC fighter, Dominic Cruz, used to always say that whole use of ring rust was an excuse, a built-in excuse that people use when they lost the fight. And him being on, he was on hiatus for like a year or two from injuries and stuff. And when he came back, he ended up winning the title, defending it, fighting pretty well. I think it's the when the fighters look rusty, it's due to their lack of preparation of staying in shape and putting in full work. And that's on them. That's not being rusty. That's not putting in proper training. And some fighters, and then that's the other thing when fighters are out for a while. Some fighters just don't come to the realization that it may just be over. And so I think I can rock with what Dominic Cruz is saying, because sometimes for an athlete, you got to keep yourself active. The minute you start to lay off and give it up, and you have other athletes that are on the rise, you begin to lose things. You lose a lot of things because you probably didn't put on weight, and you're having to go about trying to get back to where you was. And sometimes depending on your age, you're just never going to get back there. So I don't think it's being rusty. I just think it's time has caught up to some of these dudes. But I think I kind of rock with that whole thought with Dominic Cruz, and he got pretty elaborate on it. I think I rock with that. Some people using it as an excuse, and it's something that's been pushed out by a lot of people at the commentating desk, and a lot of what commentators put out is it goes into what people buy into and what people speak of commonly and stuff. But no, I think the ring rust is an excuse, and an excuse when people put a lack of preparation in the gym.
I tend to agree with that. I mean, that's why I personally think that, ring rust, I think it's just a lack of, you didn't train how you should, sparring or what have you, doing what you have to do in the ring, training. I personally think that's what it is, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, because it's just a lot. You hear that so much nowadays. Oh, it's ring rust. He's been, a 1 year layoff, and you got to prepare. I mean, fighters very well know if they're out for a year, you got to be ready when you come back. You just got to be ready, man. I mean, it is what it is, right? I mean, that's what I think. That's what I think. But this kind of reminds me of. Let me get to Kurt in here, because you got the history. You know what I'm saying, the historical background on this. And just go ahead and put your thoughts out there, Curtis, like you always do. Me personally, this is what I think. When you have fighters move up divisions and they lose to the bigger guy, for example, quick recent example, Mikey Garcia, right? What we got, Rigondeaux versus Lomachenko, et cetera, et cetera. Or when a fighter moves down in weight or up in weight, okay, and they fight in a division that they're not comfortable in, or what have you, or in a division that's not their division. And many times we hear it time and time again. If a fighter loses because they moved up in weight or they moved down in weight, it's because he lost, after the fight. He lost because, and we as fans, the boxing community always gives those types of, I call it excuses. That's just what I think of it. Oh no, he lost because he was dehydrated and it's not his weight, or no, he lost because it's not, he had to move up and the guy was bigger. Okay, then what's your point of moving up? Why move up then? If you move up as a fighter, then you're gonna fight that guy fair and square, and it is what it is. You met the opponent in that weight class, then fight him, and if you lose.
I think he froze up.
Yeah, I think so too. But we'll take it from here. I don't like the moving up, and when you lose,
check 1 2.
Yes, Renee, you're back.
Yeah. Okay, just real quick before you start, Curtis. So I don't know where did I cut off? Just real fast. Where did I cut off?
What you say? Damn.
About fighters moving up or down and them using that as an excuse that they lost.
Right, that's correct.
Okay, so yeah, me personally, I don't know where I cut off, but I was getting emotional on this. I mean, I got to explain it all, and then we'll get to Curtis. Okay, so I think that I think that's an excuse. That's how I see it. It's an excuse where, you know, in the boxing community, you know, whatever commentators and reporters, they tend to use that as an excuse. Oh, so and so moved up, but that wasn't his weight division, so he lost. I mean, we accept it. It's all good, you know, and they kind of justify the loss. I mean, no, or they try to back up that fighter like it's a win, you know, a moral victory. No, no, no. If the fighter was brave enough to move up to that division and he made weight, there should not be an excuse to why you lost fair and square because of skills or whatever, right? What do you think about that, Curtis? You think it's an excuse?
Absolutely. There's been many fighters who done moved up and was successful because they was good enough. It had nothing to do with weight. It has nothing to do with anything. They had the skills. At the end of the day, skills pay the bills. Manny Pacquiao moved up multiple divisions. Leonard Hearns, Mayweather, everybody. Hopkins, Tony, Ezra Charles, I can keep going on. Michael Spinks, they all moved up and got tires at higher weights. Fighters like Tommy Hearns fought 5 guys in a row in 3 different weights. You know, middleweight, junior middleweight, and then light heavyweight, super middleweight. So he was good enough. That's why that happened. It's a psychological thing. They have to psych themselves out. Like when Mikey lost to Spence, he said he didn't feel good at 147. He felt slow and sluggish. But if he would have beat Spence, then he would have said, I was strong, I was fast, I never felt like that. Man, I felt good. No, winning is everything, but fighters usually say something to give themselves an excuse because they need something to fall back on to convince themselves I performed poorly because of the weight. But it's just, hey, maybe you just wasn't good enough, and you failed to capture that title because your skills let you down, and the weight is just an excuse. So that's how I see it. Because there's been many fighters who went up in weight and was successful. They was good enough. They had the skills.
Exactly. I think it's an excuse, man. I just think that whole weight thing is an excuse. Oh, he fought the bigger guy and he lost. Oh, that's all right because the guy was bigger. No. I mean, you're in the weight. You were man enough to move up. You know, you thought you were skilled enough to move up, or you thought you were skilled enough to move down, and you lost. You lost fair and square. That's it. You know, it is what it is. I mean, that's how I see it. I kind of see it along the lines of the same of with ring rust. Also, I kind of see that along the lines of that. Also, as kind of an excuse. It's like, you know what? Hey, you just got to train, man. You got to be ready at all times. You know what I'm saying? Just like what the refs say right before each and every fight, protect yourself at all times. And I see it as, be ready at all times. You know what I'm saying? Stay ready. Just like what, that channel, Stay Ready, Stay Ready TV shouts out, stay ready. You don't gotta get ready if you stay ready. Definitely, man. So, I mean, that's how I see it, man. Let me get to the chat, man. Y'all guys are showing up in here. I mean, we see people in the building man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Lots of comments here, but real quick, I want to get, let me just get to the chat real fast, man. It says here, Jay Dixon would talk about Lubin, right? Sometimes you have to be honest with yourself and understand what level you're on. Yeah. So we have here Lawrence Williams saying Charlo Rosario, winner has the IBF mandatory next. Okay, I feel you, bro. All right, we'll see what's going to go on after that, right? We see Lawrence Williams continue to say, I think Hurd is waiting to see if Castano can beat Teixeira for the WBO. Oh, it probably is, man. It probably is. Hurd fought Francisco Santana. It was Santana? It was that guy? Yeah, okay. In January. Okay, thank you, man. Thank you. Tom Brown says here, I would like to see Jarrett Hurd fight Lara in a rematch. Ooh, yeah, that's why I love when you guys throw your chats in here, man. I mean, I just jump off what you guys say too, man. And, even though we got other things planned here, points, but I mean, I love it. Real quick, the Lara, Erislandy Lara, I mean, call me weird. I mean, whatever. I just have to speak what I think, all right? Lara, I called his last fight against, I think it was Vendetti. I called that fight on my channel. I wasn't too impressed with Lara, man. I don't know if I think personally, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but Lara is not fighting as he did before. I don't see him really active anymore in the ring, speaking. I wasn't impressed by when he fought against Vendetti. What do you think about that? Do you think Lara has much more time, and you think he's going to be fighting much longer, Reggie?
Nah, but he's trying. But I think what is that? Father Time is catching up to Laura. I don't think he has much time, especially against these top dudes. He's faced them and he's always fallen against them. So I don't see how much further he's going to go.
Yeah. Also before, I think if I'm not mistaken, before he fought Vendetti, he was calling out Canelo, man. Still, it's like, dude, Canelo would smash you, bro. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. Lada, love you, great fighter. You know what I'm saying? But dude, it's what I saw against Vendetti, man. I was not surprised. I was like, what's going on here, Lada? What are you doing, man? You know, pick up the pace, bro. But you know, obviously we see it as fans, and we're not in there in the ring. So I mean, I respect that. But yeah, calling out a Canelo, bro. I mean, Canelo will smash him. I think personally, Canelo will smash him, man. Right now, he'll just take him out. What do you think, Curtis? Do you think he has much more time at his line of Lada?
No, but Lara is getting by on his Cuban pedigree because of his footwork, his pure boxing technical skills. Because a lot of fighters will have problems with his style. That's what's keeping him relevant. You know, he's going to win a lot of close decisions or lose them. You know, he's been involved in a lot of them, and you know, Paul Williams and Hurd and Canelo. He just has that style where, you know, it's going to be hard for him to win or lose. You got to go out there and try to take it from Lara and get him out of there. Or, you know, that's why he's still around. You know, they don't know how to cope with his style. So he's getting by on his Cuban pedigree. You know, Cuban fighters, if you don't know what you're doing, they're hard to figure out. They're hard to beat. Like Ugas, he's going to be in a lot of disputed decisions as well. It's the style. But the other fighters doesn't know how to cope with his style. But with Father Time can set in at any fight, and it could be an upset, or he can just not look good. So we got to wait and see. Lara's not easy to fight. You must be patient because he makes you think. You know, he's meticulous. And a lot of fighters doesn't have patience. You must be patient when you fight Lara because of his style, and be smart. Then you have success.
Great input, man. I love it. I love it. Yeah, and I just don't see him much longer, man. As far as, you know, fighting big names anymore. I don't think so. But we'll see, right? We'll see what's next for Lada, definitely, man. So we got here Lawrence Williams saying that, reminder, Canelo versus Yildirim Purse. Oh my gosh, are they still talk? Canelo still wants to fight this guy, man. I mean, is tomorrow? Oh my gosh, I'm interested to see if PBC. I don't know about this Yildirim guy, man. I don't know what Canelo's doing, but whatever. He wants the belt, so right, you know, it's for the vacant belt, if I'm not mistaken. So, all right, it is what it is. We'll keep an eye on that one. So let's continue here. I want to get to the next. Oh, D'Lo, thanks so much for tuning in, man. Y'all guys showing up, man. Thank you guys so much. Remember, get them likes up. If any new listeners are here, go ahead and you know, subscribe here. Go subscribe to Reggie Owens. We got Boxing Then and Now series. We'll be getting the next part in soon. I got to chat with the fellas, man. My hours are getting kind of hectic because I'm back to my semester and studying my degree. So I'm, you know, a little bit saturated, but we're definitely going to continue the Boxing Then and Now series. We got Stormy B-Man, OGs in the building. Go subscribe to Stormy B-Man. Go subscribe to Reggie Owens. Thank you guys so much, man, for showing up and showing out, man. Thank you so much, man. So I want to get to the next point here. You know, 2 more points and we'll conclude it, but we're going to keep going here. You guys good on time? Reggie, Curtis, you guys good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Heck yeah. Okay. Let's get to, okay, we talked about Ennis. We talked about Lubin. Now let's talk about Efe Ajagba. Curtis, did you see the fight?
Yes, I did.
Okay, good, guys. So you guys saw it. You guys already asked Reggie earlier, so cool. Okay, so matter of fact, Reggie did a video on that earlier. I think it was last night. So Efe Ajagba, I went live earlier this week talking about him and his recent comments on him saying that he has more. I want to start out with this. He said that he has more skills than Anthony Joshua. I mean, that's what he said some time ago, like last week or something. I made a video on it early. I'm sorry, I went live talking about it earlier this week. Efe Ajagba, man, I think he has a lot of things to work on, man. I mean, even before this fight last night, even before we saw the fight last night, I mean, I've seen several of his fights already throughout since a couple years ago. It seems like he needs to, you know, throw a little bit more combinations in there, be a little bit more dynamic in his, you know, executions. It seems like he just has that typical 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 double jab, you know, double jab right down the pipe, double jab right, 1-2, 1-2, you know, 3-punch combination, jab to the body, you know, jab to the body, right down the pipe, boom. And it seems very just limited. So that's what I see with Efe Ajagba. He did the same last night, just 1-2, 1-2 down the pipe. If I'm not mistaken, one of the commentators said that, one of his, he admires or what have you, Klitschko, Vladimir Klitschko or something like that. And if I'm not mistaken, Klitschko has that common 1-2, 1-2, combination, just 1-2, boom, boom, through the guard. It seems like Efe was doing that a lot. I didn't see many changes in his game, man. Since a few fights ago, same thing. I don't see him really growing in his skills, you know what I'm saying? And for him to say that he has more skill than Anthony Joshua, I understand. A lot of people criticize Anthony Joshua, but when it comes to skills, you know what I'm saying? I think Anthony Joshua has a lot more skills than Efe. Efe calling out Anthony Joshua, no way. That's a big mismatch right there. I call it a mismatch. Anthony Joshua would take out Efe, in my personal opinion. Efe's been down already. I don't remember against what guy. We fought some guy in December. He went down. So, Reggie, what's your whole reaction on this with Efe Ajagba and his performance last night?
Man, that dude made multiple mistakes. I think going over the top rank was a mistake. Don't know what was behind that. And the reason why I say that, not to be because I can be biased when it comes to top rank, but not to even be biased, but the fact that they didn't announce this fight, they didn't put no promotion behind it, especially it's his debut, the debut of a heavyweight who's drawn a lot of excitement. And they didn't do anything for the guy. What else they didn't do? Seeing him leave his trainer along with making that decision to leave the PBC and also to leave Ronnie Shields, who has gotten him where he is within his professional career. And of seeing him in that ring against the opponent they brought in there for him, an opponent that I haven't heard anybody who knew anything about the opponent. The opponent doesn't look like he's someone who's dedicated to the craft of boxing. Probably someone that's transitioned from another sport or is probably working as well, but going in here and making a difficult fight for Efe Ajagba. Efe's whole style looked like it just went backwards. Everything that he was, working himself forward with, it all went backwards. It's almost like what he looked like last night. Every single opponent that he's beat would have beaten that version of Efe Ajagba.
Yeah.
He was falling over. His balance was off. His jab looked like trash. He couldn't figure anything out, and then seeing him in the corner, he having that look of frustration on his face. There was also the thing going in the locker room. I see them massaging his legs, so I don't know if something could have been going on with him back there, but he just didn't look right in that fight, and it looked like he's moving backwards unless something comes out that he was sick or something. But he didn't look right at all. And I don't think the Top Rank did any justice for him by not even promoting the fight. They just did it to interfere with. I think that whole promotion was just to interfere with a PBC card, and especially with ESPN having a UFC event on as well. But that's not right. That's not right to do that to a fighter who was rising the way he was rising, like Efe Ajagba, and also to put him on the app. So that's another thing. But that's all I got on that one.
Yeah. So, as far as what I saw last night with Efe, I thought I was going to see much more improvement. I thought he was going to, show a lot more, different techniques, skills in the ring. He didn't really do that. Like you said, it looks like he was going backwards kind of, man. I don't know. He changed his coach?
Yes.
Since when? Was it before this fight?
Yes.
Oh, man. Yeah, that probably has something to do with it, but I don't know, man. What do you think, Curtis? What's your whole reaction on his performance?
Ajagba, he regressed. He was getting hit with right hands by Johnny Rice-A-Roni, I'll call him. I know who he is. I was surprised he couldn't get out the way. Yeah, he couldn't get out the way. And of the straight right hand, Rice didn't have no power on the right hands. He was hitting Ajagba flush. Him going to Top Rank and changing trainers, man, he did everything wrong. All that matters in a fighter's career. I predict he's going to lose to an heralded average or below average heavyweight coming up. I'm not sure it's going to be the next fight, but he's going to lose. It's going to be somebody who has just enough power to hurt him. And he's slow as molasses, man. he's slow. I mean, he's like he's fighting in slow motion. I just don't like what I seen yesterday. I was like, he's regressed. I think the boys or Joyce will beat him. I don't think his chin is all that. I think he gets knocked out real soon.
Wow, wow. Yeah, I was just thinking that right now. Daniel Dubois, you know, a Triple D, how he would do against a Dubois, how he would do against you know, a Michael Hunter, how he would do against even a Chisora, how he would do against the Parker. I don't think he has it for them, man. I don't. Curtis, do you think it's because of the change of coach? Why he's like this?
He was down before when he had his former coach. His reflexes is not as sharp as I thought they were. He's just not that good to me. He can't get out the way with a straight right hand. That's his weakness. You know, I would throw hands all day if I was fighting a Jogba. You know, he's slow. He doesn't react well to slipping and just parrying punches. His head is on the line. It's easy to hit him. He's slow. And I see him getting knocked out in the very near future. I really do.
You know, and I just don't see, you know, much head movement, upper body movement. Just stands there, you know, waiting to get hit. You know, Reggie, do you think he'll get knocked out sooner or later, or do you think he'll lose against one of these names that we just talked about?
Oh hell yeah! The fall's gonna come soon. I mean, he can't. I mean, with what he's displaying out there, it's only gonna last for so long, and it's not improving. I don't think the speed's going to get better. I don't think the defense is going to get better. And he's going to go in here against other opponents that will walk straight towards him. And I think in the last 2 fights before this, he faced very, very tough opposition. And he ended up getting dropped by the one guy he had hurt very bad. So it's going to get tough on FA.
Man, wow. And I kind of feel sorry for him, man, because, you know, he was looked at as I don't know if I would say promising prospect, but I mean, he was being looked at, you know, some eyeballs were towards him and, you know, moving top rank and stuff like that. And, you know, I like his backstory. If I'm not mistaken, he's from Nigeria, you know, fought in Nigeria and just, just came to America and got the opportunity. And I don't know, man, dude got to work on some stuff. Definitely has to work on some stuff. So, you know, it is what it is with FA. So I just don't see him. I don't know why. I understand he's a fighter, call it the names, whatever, but I don't see why he was talking about him having more skills than Anthony Joshua. What are you thinking, man? I mean, I don't know. All due respect, man, but what are you thinking saying that? I don't know. But it is what it is. He's a fighter. So let's get to the next last topic here. Obviously, it's a controversial one. Been out there for years, months, or whatever, right? Ever since, or we can say months, obviously, but you know, it hasn't been even been a year yet. I don't think so. You know, with the Wilder and Tyson Fury 2 rematch, right? Okay, so let's just get to it. You know, just a general analysis with what you guys think will happen in the trilogy. If I'm not mistaken, yesterday during the, I think when I was watching the FA Jogman, the commentators there, you know, throughout the trilogy with Wilder and because they were obviously heavyweights fighting with the FA, and you know, the topic came out with Wilder and Fury, and you know, they said it's going to be around December. I don't remember the dates, but I mean, they said if nothing happens, right? If nothing happens unexpected, well, it's set for December, which I'm really excited about, man. Time can't just go fast enough. You know, I'm really excited about all these fights that are coming up. So it's great stuff, man. To top it off, cherry on top with, you know, Tyson Fury and Wilder. First and foremost, man, I'm not even gonna, you know, mention this whole rematch controversial issue. You guys know what I'm talking about. You know, the glove gate stuff like that. I don't do that on my channel. Why? Because I don't investigate those things. I don't get into those details. Other platforms are good at doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. I just look what's in the ring, and that's it. I just see what's in the ring. I know maybe some listeners will say, well, yeah, well, if you see what's in the ring, then you'll see that the glove and this and that. I just look at skills and fighting ability in the ring. That's what I look at. And you know, based off of what we saw in the Wilder versus Fury rematch part 2. I don't know why people are calling the trilogy a rematch. The rematch was part 2, not the trilogy. The trilogy is a trilogy. Rematch is part 2. So I don't know. I've heard it time and time again. Oh, the Fury and Wilder rematch when they're referring to the trilogy. But okay, what I'm saying. So when I focus on the rematch, what I saw in part 2, you know, y'all saw it. Fury, man, came just with a whole nother approach. And I saw Wilder, man, and we've seen it time and time again with the style. I think Wilder really has to work on a different approach in the trilogy. I think he has to work on, boxing more, throwing more combos on the inside, using more footwork. That's how I see it. Wilder has to do something different. That's kind of the bottom line of what I see for Wilder to get the win, okay? Not just waiting on the knockout. No, no, no. Yes, he has the amazing power, which is exactly why, I mean, most of his fights, they're all knockouts. I mean, he just has phenomenal power, but don't just depend on the power in the trilogy. You got to mix it up. You got to throw some more combos. You got to be more active as far as punches and combinations, against Fury, man. Because if Fury comes at Wilder like he did in the rematch, I don't know, man. I see it's very dangerous for Wilder. I think this is going to be a wonderful trilogy. We're going to enjoy every second of it, but Wilder has to do something different. That's the bottom line I'm trying to say here. Wilder has to do something different if he wants to win. I'm going for Wilder. I've been going for Wilder since the first fight. Love Wilder, but he has to do something different, man. What do you think, Reggie? How do you think the trilogy will go out?
Man, that's the most important thing. Wilder has to do something different, and like me, I ain't with the whole glove gate shit and all that shit. I mean, if it's the case, but it ain't gonna prove nothing. Doesn't set anything back. There's things Wilder has to work on. And one being is the camp. This fight is going to be won based on what he does in camp. And I know he doesn't have too many of the tools. You ain't going to be able to turn him into this great style, great footwork boxer. But I don't think he needs all that to defeat Tyson Fury. He's a tall fighter. He's tall. He's rangy like Tyson Fury as well. His thing is to beat Tyson Fury off the jab, in my opinion. He needs to make his legs stronger. He needs to start training on his cardio because even with Wilder being as slim as he is at 220, I have seen Wilder go into these gassing issues, and it shows, and it's seen based on what they say he does to kind of keep his conditioning there, and that's just by doing sprints and other water type activities. You got to hit that damn ground. He got to put the miles in. Start running because he needs that gas tank going in here, especially he's going to come in here lighter, possibly dealing with a heavier guy laying on him. He needs to be able to recharge himself. Like he got to be like a hybrid in that mug, man. He got to be able to recharge them batteries. And so cardio is going to be key. The type of sparring he's getting in there, because I always heard stuff about the training camp, him going in there, knocking sparring partners out. Now he needs someone in there that's going to push him, someone that can stand up, move away from the right hand and push and push and push, bringing fresh bodies in there, pushing the hell out of Wilder. And that's what has to happen. Also needs to bring in, or his coaches need to man up. They need to grab the damn nuts and start taking control of that damn team and not having the fighter telling the coaches what they can and can't do. That's bullshit. And I was saying it was bullshit when people were trying to say Mark Breland was wrong. And that just shows me where people's mindset, so when it comes to them being fans in the sport and looking at the warrior side of shit, they got shit all fucked up. Even in war, it's the soldier who doesn't lead the fucking who doesn't command the field. It's always someone standing on the side, being generals and other type officers that sit back and observe how battle is going, and they make the calls. And that's the thing people don't look at. Don't no fighter tell no real fucking coach what the hell to do. And I think that's one of the things he has to open up to is coaches being able to speak more, be able to be more vocal. They need to be able to yell, tell him when he needs to pick some shit up, because he does take a lot of rounds off. And he's been lucky to get by with it. But against this opponent, ain't no luck to be played in this game. He got to go in here and fight out every single fucking round against Tyson Fury. And especially if you're dealing with the aspect of where you may get judges who don't favor you. So going in here boxing, him just simply working off a jab, being able to move around on Fury, throwing more offense, because I think him being offensive locks Tyson Fury's offense up. And I've seen that in watching their fights as Tyson Fury doesn't get off. The moments when Wilder sits there and becomes less active is when he allows Tyson Fury to get his work off. And with Tyson Fury getting his work off, Wilder's going to be backing up. So Wilder has to do something correct, backing up, learning how to move more laterally, spinning around, keeping his hands up, and moving his head more. Wilder needs better head movement. He has to move more. But his thing is cardio can change everything for Deontay Wilder. Putting the miles in, getting his jab active, and being able to work Fury, because I think he can outwork Fury off the jab. Like I say, they're both tall, rangy-ass fighters. And I don't think there's that much of a difference in their jab. Wilder has a laser-like jab, but it's probably one jab at a time. It's not wop, wop, wop. He needs to get something like that, be able to move around on him and not look for that damn knockout. Only when it comes, then go for it. But he has enough power in the damn jab to possibly hurt Tyson Fury. And if he can hurt him then go for the knockout. But throwing power shots, which kind of cuts the distance on how far you can reach out for a punch, puts him in the range to get hit with something. That's what happened when he got hit. When he got hit with the punches, he threw a punch, throwing one of these power punches. It pulled him in. I think he was off balance, and Fury hit him with the shot. And he also ended up walking in to some straight shots from Fury trying to throw hooks. So his thing is just going to be able to work off the jab and not following in. Just the technical side of things will give him the fight to me. But that's all I got.
I mean, I agree. I mean, you know, like I said, Meg Hisp, I feel what you're saying, bro. I'm not, you know, what you're saying. Renee, what do you think about Fury cheating to win? He knows he can't win clean. I mean, I feel you, bro. I understand, man. I'm not trying to say I don't understand the whole controversy, I mean, I looked into it, you know, but I'm not the type of speaker on the platform, you know what I'm saying? Because it is what it is. What happened, happened. You know what I'm saying? I just want to focus on the skills, you know what I'm saying? And I personally think, okay, I don't know. Ever since, I've said it time and time again, ever since Wilder fought Ortiz in the rematch, I started getting worried about Wilder's style, man, in general. Before the whole Wilder Fury first fight announced, before all that, when I saw Ortiz versus Wilder rematch, I was worried about Wilder's style, man. I was like, you know, dude, you do this against every fighter. It worked, yes, for a long time, but now you face the Fury. It's just a totally different style, totally different opposition, totally different approach coming at Wilder. You know what I'm saying? 12 rounds with Fury, the first fight. You know, I personally think Reese, I said it time and time again, I personally think Reese went a little, gave Fury too much time. I personally think that Wilder should have won the first fight. I mean, that's my opinion on that, you know, but the reason why I'm saying this is that going back to the Ortiz and Wilder rematch, I think that dude Wilder, I was like, Wilder, come on. Don't just, you know, Ortiz was racking up the rounds, no problem, boxing Wilder out, man. And at the right time, bam, great, wonderful win. But I was worried because I was like, dude, you can't do this. You can't do this too much anymore. And this brings me to this. We're going to get to Curtis right now, but it makes me think you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I don't know, man. I'm kind of doubting this whole thing with Wilder, you know, beating Fury in the trilogy, man. What do you think about all this, Kurt?
Well, I've been very vocal, you know, with the Wilder fans. You know, Wilder is a one-trick pony. He's a one-dimensional right-hand knockout artist. That's it. What's after that? Nobody seems they can't answer it. Well, Fury can fight on a back foot and he can be aggressive. Fury has all the momentum. He has the better corner. He has the more technical boxing skills. Power is nothing if you can't land a punch. I mean, this ain't the first fight. This is the second fight where Wilder got pummeled. People don't want to talk about how bad he lost with this girl in his locker room and he laying all on her like a newborn baby and all that. He was ill prepared. He was not he didn't prepare properly for the fight. Where Fury did. Fury had all the confidence in the world. He had his trainer who his roots was Kronk Jim. You know, coming in the ring with a crown on his head, I said it wasn't a title fight, it was a coronation. And that's what it turned out to be. One of the best performances by a British fighter over an American, you know, since Lloyd Huntington beat Donald Curry for the welterweight title. Because of Wilder. Wilder left that door open and Fury walked right on in. I just think it's too late. for Wilder to get any to redeem himself. Fury's a nut job. He's a flake, and those are the guys who are hard to overcome because they truly believe that they can't get beat. They believe it, and we all know Fury is a flake. How Wilder's going to win if Fury comes forward? How he's going to win? He can't fight backing up. He has terrible footwork. It's terrible. He should have been working on that years ago. Years ago. But he got comfortable with his power, and it doesn't always work against everybody. It didn't work for Mike Tyson against Evander Holyfield. Didn't work for George Foreman against Muhammad Ali. Didn't work for George Foreman against Ali. It's not going to work for Wilder against Fury because now Fury's confident. He know what he can do to Wilder. He said, "Why fight on a back foot where I can go be aggressive and knock this man out like I did last fight?" Left hook to the body. Wilder was on the floor fixing his trunks. Got up, fixed his trunks. You could see that the beginning of the end. And Fury was building momentum and confidence and getting better and better. And people fail to realize Fury can fight. Plus, he's 6'9". It's a handful. Wilder's a knockout artist, but against Ortiz, I knew Wilder was going to lose even though he got the knockout. So he's going to get ready to lose to somebody because he can't put rounds in the bank. Can't fight on the inside. Can't put rounds in the bank. Telegraphs the right hand too much. So, I got if they do fight December 19th, I got Fury winning by 9th round stoppage. It'll be sooner than that if he goes to Wilder's body, but I done seen this picture before, and I got Fury winning in 9.
All things aside, that's the thing. When you see historical fights, what I'm saying, fights from history, you see it time and time again, man. And that's the thing. That's what worries me. That's what worries me. I'm going for Wilder, man. But do you think I'm correct in that phrase, applying it in this, Curtis, that you can't teach an old dog new tricks?
Absolutely. That dog is a puncher. You can't turn Jack Dempsey into Willie Pep. You can't turn Ernie Shavers into Pernell Whitaker. You can't turn George Foreman into Floyd Mayweather. There's a pattern here. The boxer beats the puncher 99 out of 100 times. Fury has gotten better. Remember, that first fight, Fury was still rusty, so to speak, and we just talked about it. But just like when Andre Ward fought Sergey Kovalev, and Andre Ward barely won the fight, some people said could have been Kovalev. It's just like and look at the rematch with Ward and Kovalev. Look at the rematch with Fury and Wilder. It's very similar. Very similar. They got the knockouts. They both won by knockouts. And people didn't expect Ward to be a knockout Kovalev in the second fight. People didn't expect Fury to knock out Wilder, but they both did. It's strange how a boxer will show you who it is, the sport. When you put it together and you look at it in a certain way, it will let you know. There's a pattern here. Now, if Fury go out there and lollygag and Wilder just happen to catch him, I give Wilder all the praise. I'll be like, man, this is one of the best revenge fights ever. You got revenge after being pummeled. But I just don't like him being quiet. People think it's a plus, it's a minus. Him being quiet, not saying nothing. I just don't think he's going to be the same fighter. I think Fury beat the hell out of him again.
Yeah, man. I mean, man, yeah. I'm worried. I'm worried. I'm not going to say I'm not. I'm worried for all these reasons that we're talking about. I mean, what Reggie was explaining. Real quick, let me get to the chat. We're about to get done. Where Wilder's right hand always bailed him out until that last fight versus Fury. You could see how his corner was, that's the thing, in total disarray because his own corner was depending on the right hand. And his corner didn't know what to do after that. They didn't give him any tips. They haven't been given tips on how to apply what we've been talking about right now. You know what I'm saying? After all those fights, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm worried. I'm worried, and you know, and I gotta say, we could go here to Bruce goes real quick. That's an unpopular opinion around here, Kurt. But you know, your stuff, right? As well as anyone I've listened to. Exactly, man. All biases aside, we're just saying for what it is: skills, talent in the ring, you know, and styles. And we're just speaking what it is. I mean, that's what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so. Man, any last word? Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm real quick. I'm not going to fall in line for anybody. If people don't like it, a lot of people fall in line. They expect me to pick Wilder, maybe because I'm the same race. But I don't look at boxing like that. That's one place that gives me sanity in the unforgiving world. I love boxing, and I can't fall in place, or I can't pick a guy because of certain reasons. I go by what I see, and I use my expertise to predict the fight, break down strengths and weaknesses. I'm not always right. I'm human, you know, but you don't have to be. It's just fun doing it. I love debating. I done got in like 100 debates over the years with people. Hey, Fury might go there and take Wilder for granted and get knocked out, but I don't see it because I just think he has Wilder's number. He gets up for Wilder. You know, he brings a certain energy in the ring. I just think that he's a better fighter all around. So, you know, I'm not falling in line with anybody. Go ahead, Renee.
Hey, I want to say that I'm the same way with that, Kurt.
Go ahead.
I'm not about to rock on playing because he's my brother and shit and think he's gonna win. When the cards are laid out, you look at shit and it doesn't look good for him. You just got to be real with shit. I ain't playing that old black and white shit when it comes to this shit. That shit is social shit, and that's how it plays out. You know, you want your brother to win and shit, but when you're looking at this game, you just got to call it for how it is. And I don't think people should have to go on shit because of popular belief and shit. And I rock with you. I'm a motherfucker stand on my square as well. I don't rock with shit that's because it's popular. If I don't fuck with it, I don't fuck with it. So I'm the same way as you, Kurt. But yeah. I'm going for Wilder in this one to win. But your assessment's been real. You're the only person I heard calling when this rematch was going on to say that you seen Fury winning this fight, and you're absolutely right. And I think people shouldn't pay in that. Yeah, we deal with other, you know, the bigotry within this sport. That don't mean we got to fall into that punk shit neither.
I'm not falling. I'm 53 years old to be 54 in a couple of weeks. I'm too old to be falling in line, and you know, I'm not a deck of cards or not like that or a card. I pick Canelo over Charlo. I pick Crawford over Spence. Those are very unpopular picks, but I don't care. Nobody. The day I change my mind is the day I stop talking about boxing, and that would never happen.
I mean, this is exactly why. Yeah, this is exactly why I went live some time ago, man, more than a year ago or something. I went live and talked about race wars and boxing, man. And for me, I don't see races, man. You know, I see skills. I see what it is, man. G Funky, thank you so much for jumping up in here, bro. Much love to you, bro. You can go ahead and go back and see the whole live. You know what I'm saying? We talked about some great stuff today. G Funky saying here, that right, Kurt? Stand on your square. Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, you know, it is what it is. We don't see race in these things. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just seeing skills and what it is, you know, and that's why, you know, I love you guys, the panel. I mean, you guys are straight in what it is, man. I mean, it is what it is, right? I mean, Reggie, anything else you wanted to say there? I think I heard you saying something.
No. When it comes to that, I mean, there's race within the damn sport, but that racism comes from the clowns within it. You deal with a lot of old bigoted white folks in the game who bring that shit in here. You deal with some folks out the Latin community who deal in that shit. A few of our folks deal in that shit. But I can put that shit aside, but I address it. The reason why I don't fall into it because I address bigoted ass motherfuckers. I don't cry about the shit. When it's approached to me, I address it on sight. But otherwise, other than that, I can look at things for what they are. But this sport is deeply flawed in the racial identity of shit. But that don't mean I fall into it. When I'm looking at a sport, if I'm gonna put my money on it, and I don't feel like the person who was my folks is going to pay me out based on picking them to win, I can't base this shit off emotions. I got to call it how it is. Definitely,
man. I love it, man. Y'all jumping in, man. we got quite a bit of people in the building, man. I thank you guys so much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, go ahead and share, man. You know what it is, man. This platform is open to the whole boxing community. G Funky, Kenneth, all you guys, man, who are jumping in. I thank you guys so much. Kurt, any last words you want to say, man, before we go?
Yeah, this is a great show, man. I love being on your channel, man. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Chad, for spending your time with us, man. We appreciate it. Reggie Owens, always solid, man. Knows his stuff, man. Renee as well, man. You know, I'm just glad to be a part of it, man. Everybody enjoy your Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. Reggie, any last words, bro?
Yeah, man, great chat, man. I enjoyed the show, man. Always great being on here with the OG, Curtis Anderson, my brother Renee Box Young, man. Another great discussion, and thanks for who was in the chat. I see the chat over here, but I couldn't comment because I'm not on my phone device. But thanks to everyone who was in here, keeping it going, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man, I definitely appreciate it. We got D-Style up in the building too. I highlighted his comment there. Canelo beats Charlo, man. Definitely, bro. Definitely. Man, I hope they do fight sooner or later, man. Thank you so much jumping in. Ogden, also, sorry I didn't shout you out there, Ogden. Thank you so much for tuning in too. You know, I thank you guys so much, man. I appreciate it. We are one community. I'm saying, I say it time and time again, that we are one community. We do it for the love of the sport of boxing, man. And hey, keep an eye out for Boxing Then and Now series. We'll be doing part 8 soon. If I'm not mistaken, we finished part 7, right? But like I said, I've been busy, but soon we're gonna get part 8 definitely down. Okay, so remember, like, subscribe, go subscribe to Boxing Conversations Reggie Owens. He also has a backup channel, Boxing Conversations Reggie Owens 2, and also subscribe to Stormy B. G Funky's up in here too. Go subscribe to D-Style. Everybody here has a channel, man. Go subscribe, go show the love, man. And I thank you guys so much. Can you wait just a couple minutes, Curtis and Reggie, after this?
Yes, sir.
Right on, right on. Thank you guys so much. Peace. And my little doggy here says bye. Let me see. Y'all can see my dog right here. Look at her. I don't know if you guys see her. Little doggy says bye also. Yeah. All right. Peace out, guys. I thank you guys so much. Peace, fam.
Peace.
All right, hold on here. You know, I'm on my phone. It's kind of slow. Just hold on, you guys. Hold up. You guys still there?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.